What's good, y'all? It's the Microwave Files. Ooh, it's week 17, man. About to get these division games going. Some teams about to be salty today. They're about to miss the playoffs. So let's see what happens. What's up? First game, Jets versus the Bills. Now, normally I would say the Bills going to get us some trouble. Obviously, you're coaching against your former coach. He knows pretty much what you do. Um, Organization top to bottom, but they don't have Shady today. Sean McCoy's out. He's hurt. And obviously that's going to make a big difference in the game. You're already going up against one of the best defenses in the league, actually the best rushing defense in the league, and you don't have Shady? Nah, son, it's not going to be a win for you. So I'm going with the Jets in this one. I got to go with a score of 28-21. I think it's going to be close, but I think the Jets, everything riding on the line. They get this win today, and unfortunately, Steelers missed the playoffs. Better luck next year, Steelers. And the next game, Patriots versus the Dolphins. Obviously, the Patriots are already in the playoffs. They're just competing for home field advantage throughout. Now, I think it's going to be a tough game because Miami always plays New England tough. I don't know why. I don't know how. But I just know that whenever they play, it's always close. And I think it's going to be the same story today. I think the Patriots pulled this one out just by the skin of their teeth, barely. I think I'm going with the score of 30-27. Why? Because it's a division opponent, and nobody knows you better than a division opponent. Plus, the Dolphins would love to make sure that the Patriots don't get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They want to play spoiler. So we'll see what happens. But I think the final score is going to be 30-27 Patriots because I just think that the Patriots know what's at stake. And even though they can win anywhere in the country, they'd obviously much rather do it at home. So 30-27. Next game, we got the Ravens going up against the Bengals. I mean, Ravens. I know they play spoiler. They told a lot of teams they've given a lot of teams trouble, and I understand that. But here's the thing: I do not see. I don't really see the Ravens beating the Bengals, only because I think the Bengals coming off that loss to Denver. Just AJ McCarron getting a little more comfortable with the offense, and then obviously the Bengals defense I think is good enough to get the job done. And I'm going with the final score of 24-17 Bengals. Next game, Steelers at the Browns. I love to see the Steelers make the playoffs. It'd be nice to see, because I want to see that high-powered offense in the playoffs. But guess what? They messed up last week, and I don't see the Jets losing, so they about to be watching the playoffs from home. So sad to say, and I think they're gonna put up points there. I think they're gonna annihilate the Browns. I think the final score is gonna be along the lines of 34-14 because I think that's how bad they want it right now. But they already messed up. Y'all too late. 34-14 though, Steelers. Next we got the Jaguars and the Texans. I believe the Texans actually might win the win the title. They might win the AFC South division title. That's how bad the division is. And the Texans actually going to be in the playoffs. They're going to get stomped. They're going to get stomped when they get into the playoffs, so it's not a big deal. Obviously, I'm picking them to win this game because it's the Jaguars. And I'm picking them to win this game of a score to 26-16. I just think, obviously, they're the better team, and they know the playoff implications are on the line. They're not losing this game as far as I'm concerned. 26-16. Next game, Titans going up against the Colts. I mean, I like the matchup. But guys been injured this year. Marcus Mariota's out for the season. Andrew Luck's out. It would have been a great matchup, but now it's just two bum teams going at each other. Two teams. I just really don't see it happening for the Titans. I think the Colts get this win in a scrappy one. I think they barely pull it out. I think it's going to be a score of 21-18, just because I think it's going to be close, but it's going to be scrap. And in a division that's terrible, the Colts pull it out. Next, we got the Redskins at the Cowboys. This game doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter anymore for the Redskins because they already clinched. They're already in the playoffs. We know that. We understand that. But it matters for Dallas. It matters for their season. And I would say that even though the Redskins are better than them, I think that this year, at least this year, I think the Cowboys come out and win this game just for pride's sake. Score of 27-20 because I think they're gonna rest a lot of starters, Redskins, because they know this game doesn't mean anything, just bragging rights. And I think ultimately that the Cowboys come out and win this one 27-20. Then obviously you guys know about the matchup. It's Eagles versus Giants. This is just a wash because both these teams have absolutely nothing to play for. It's sad, honestly. Both these teams had shots. They had a chance to win, and they didn't do it. I'm going with the score Eagles 28-14. All the turmoil that's going on with New York, even with Philly's turmoil, I think Philly's just a little bit better. And I think they played the Giants well when they played them. So I'm going with the score of 28-14, Philly. Next game, Lions at the Bears. Man, Lions, they're trying to salvage what's left of their season. I paid attention to them. They won a couple games, strung a couple games together. I'm picking them again. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything for playoff implications, but they have managed to somehow string some games together and win some games. So I'm going with a final score of 31-20. So, yeah. Next game, got the Saints at the Falcons. I mean, I respect the Saints. I like what they've done. But because the Falcons know that even though there's a slight chance, it's a very small chance, but a small outside chance to make the playoffs. They're gonna ball today. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna make it or not because it's a small outside chance, but I don't see them losing, especially to a division opponent like the Saints. It's gonna be a tight one, but 34-27 Falcons. Next game, we got the Raiders going up against Chiefs. Now, I do think this game will be interesting because you have to look out for guys like Charles Woodson who can pick you off at any time. Is your Alex Smith. And Alex Smith is prone to having those games where you're like, why am I paying you? Like, sometimes he has prone to having those games where you just look at him like, bro, why am I paying you? And I think that might be the case today. I think he's going to struggle. I think Chiefs barely pulled out. So I do want to see the Steelers, not going to lie, a little bit emotional. Want to see them in the playoffs. I'm not even a Steelers fan. I just want to see that high-powered offense. But I think Chiefs win this one in a very tight game. 21-19. They win at the end. Chiefs. Alex Smith gets the job done, even though he struggles. The Buccaneers going up against the Panthers. I'm not too worried about the Panthers. They trying to fade my man Cam now because Carson Palmer is balling. They're like, what if Carson Palmer? Nah, Carson Palmer is not MVP. Cam's MVP of the league. Everything he's done. Carson Palmer, you look at his team is better than what Cam Newton has to work with. Their offense is better. So I don't think you can sit there, and the coach is better, honestly. So I don't think you can sit there and say that Carson Palmer is MVP when he has more to work with. Plus, on top of that, I see them winning this game today anyway. I think they're going to destroy the Bucs. I think it's going to be a score of 30-17. So I think they understand that people are trying to come for their neck, and they're not allowed that to happen. 30-17 Panthers. Cam has a big game. Next game, got the San Diego Chargers going up against the Denver Broncos. Obviously, never knows what this means for playoff positioning. If they win this game, they're going to get home field advantage, not throughout the playoffs, but they're going to get a bye. And if they get that bye, obviously, it's only going to help them in terms of their health. Now, obviously, the San Diego Chargers have always given them trouble. It's a division opponent. It's hard. It's hard to win. Now, they've had so many injuries this year, I just can't pick them. You know, Philip Rivers, he's always balls. He always plays well. He always puts up his numbers, but he doesn't lead them to wins. And that's the key. He's not leading them to wins. So I don't really see that happening. I see the Broncos winning this game. I see Brock Osweiler getting the job done. I see that defense holding the San Diego Chargers to maybe 17 points. I'm being generous, 17 points. And I think the final score is going to be 27-17 Broncos. With big games, obviously, on offense from Demaryius Thomas and, the crew. And the next game, got the Rams going up against the 49ers. Another division rival. It's just both these teams don't really have anything to play for, but I give it to the Rams, man. They play the division opponents well. They don't necessarily play the rest of the league well, but they play division opponents well, and it's not going. It's going to be the same today. I picked them to win. Uh, I think it's going to be a score type one. Two decent defenses. I think 24-21. Going with the Rams. Even though Todd Gurley is probable for today, I know there's a chance he might not play. But I do want to see what goes on with him and just kind of see what goes on in that situation. But I think the Rams have enough talent to get the job done against a weak 49ers team. Oh, and then the other 425 game today, I just looked. Seahawks Cardinals. Now, y'all know that I'm going against the grain at times with the Seahawks. I'm going against the grain again, man. I'm on that fence. I have a feeling that they're going to come out to play today. Now, I understand it's a division opponent. Like, of course, they're going to come out to play. And I'm talking about, like, their pride hurt. Like, their pride is hurt. And I think that the Seahawks are going to pull off an upset today. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like they're going to dominate. I think they're going to get dominated to begin with. I think early on they'll get dominated because I think this Cardinals team is legit. But I don't think they're better than the Panthers. But in terms of the NFC, rest of the NFC, they legit. Now, I do see this game. I want to say a score of, it's going to be tight, man. I'm going with 28-24 Seahawks. We get the job done. The Seahawks get the job done. I think a final score, not even 28. I'll say 27-24 Seahawks. They get the job done. And that's it. There's really not much else to talk about. They're gonna have Cam Chancellor back, I believe. Their defense is gonna be back. Obviously, Marshawn Lynch is not gonna be available till tomorrow. That we know that. But at the same time, I'm not really worried about that so much as having their defense intact and just having that attitude, that mentality, that focus. I think that's what they're gonna have today. Let's see. And finally, we got the night game, Vikings against the Packers. You know how bad I want to pick the Vikings right now because the Packers have looked trash last couple weeks. They look like trash. I can't pick them though because it's in Lambeau. So if I'm going with the Vikings, I gotta be sure that they're gonna come out and ball. And I don't know that because on the offensive side, I'm sure they're gonna come ball. What are they gonna bring defensively? What are they gonna be able to do to stop Aaron Rodgers at home? And I think that's gonna be very difficult to do at home. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on in the mix. I think the final score is going to be Packers 36, and the Vikings 20, 36-20. I just think it's that kind of game, and the Vikings are going to struggle. But like I said, we'll see what happens. These are the games for today, man. I'm excited. So last week, obviously, it's a lot of division games, so you never know what's going to happen. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on the money with my picks. Come back if you want to debate, you want to talk about it. Come back, leave a comment. Check out the videos. It's me signing off. It's the Microwave Files, and enjoy our Sunday.